Okay, we live,
you
we
had to, you
live,
had to
we
say
live.
that. You had
What
to
do you
say
You know
saying,
that.
what?
bro?
We'll
You get
add,
me?
we'll add,
Web free
we'll
and that.
add it.
Get me, fam. Web free.
You, you nice? How you doing? Good catch up today,
Hi,
homie. Good
everyone.
catch up today.
Yo, what's good? What's good? What's good? So we are live in the building, live in the place. Yo, yo, yo! It's an all-star turnout. If you don't know, get to know. This is Blockchain Sensei. The people bringing you the real game, the real fire, making our community guap, making our community monies. How we doing that? Just by giving them education and facts. We give you the education and facts, you execute, and you make the racks. That's what we do. KOB, Kings of the Block, Blockchain Sensei, Web3 Massive. You know, gang, gang, gang.
Okay. I don't know about the
Ninja's
gang
like,
part.
what has just happened?
I don't know about the gang part, but
It's
yeah,
never
I'm with
really,
that.
it's never really like this, guys. It's never really like this. He basically turned into me for a second, so that.
No, what happened is that he put his dreads in a bun. That's what happened.
Nah, I got a bit. I'm not gonna lie, I got a bit gassed because I saw how long my dreads were. I got a bit gassed. Let's put them away. Let's go
Right,
back.
disclaimer.
All right. Yo, what's good,
Now
people?
you can
It's
be
currently.
super corporate now, Ninja. You can be super corporate.
Okay, one sec. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. The time is now 4 minutes past 8 p.m. UK time, Monday, the 17th of July, 2023. Welcome to yet another amazing episode of The Game, which is a complimentary weekly stocks and crypto webinar hosted by myself, Fadlan Effendi, Michael Harding, and Keeson Rigg. Michael Harding, would you be so kind to make me a co-host, please?
You are always a co-founder, bro. Whether you like it or not, no matter where you try to run to, you're always a co-founder of Blockchain Sensei. Always.
Okay, so let's get it. So to join this free weekly webinar every single Monday, 8 p.m. till 9:30 UK time since 2020. So we're nearly 3 years deep into this webinar. Go to the blockchain.sensei Instagram, click on our link tree, and then click this link here, the Game and NFT Friday Zoom link. We may one day withdraw from this webinar being available on Zoom. So get into the Zoom whilst you can.
Then you're gonna be real upset.
Real upset because you'll be watching in the background on YouTube, not being able to see our faces and say hello. So, also catch the replays at youtube.com/blockchain sensei. Like, comment, subscribe, etc. So, quick disclaimer: terms and conditions. All our content is for education, information, and entertainment purposes only, and it should not be considered as investment advice or a recommendation to buy, sell, hold any assets, nor place any trades. As always, please do your own what, guys? Research. Research. Our content is intended and should only be used for informational use only. It is very important to do your own analysis before making any investments, which should be based on your own individual circumstances. Always pay your bills and debts before making any investments. Always pay your child support, etc. You should always take independent professional advice from a professional advisor or independently research and verify all and any information you may find in our show that you may wish to rely upon whether you wish to make an investment decision or otherwise. All investments come with a very important word, which is risk. Always do your own research. Always do your own research. Neither myself, Michael Harding, Keish, or anyone. Wait a minute. Do we have any financial advisors in the room? Because I've got some faces here, and I don't think there's a financial advisor, but maybe there is. Any financial advisors that are willing to dox yourself and say, I'm a financial advisor?
Let's shout out some of the financial advisors we actually do work with. Man like E-Man Effect, hold tight. Man like Charlie Lucco, financial advisor of St. James's Place, financial advisor of the richest black man in the UK, Mr. Dean Forbes, super OG homie, Victoria Nabarro. Yeah, come on.
Yes, sir. So big ups to one of the financial advisors that we partner with. He's called the E-Man Effect. I'm sure we'll get him on a webinar soon. We caught up with the homie last night. Went with regards to some financial things because he is a financial advisor. Not getting paid to say this, but big ups to the E-Man effect. I think he's one of, I think he's a great financial advisor who, and definitely one worth shouting about. Oh, we got HMD handy, Mortal 161 in the place. Okay, so we don't intend to be perceived or received as financial advisors, much like if you were to go out during Halloween and somebody was dressed as a doctor and you actually hurt yourself, that person should not be considered as a medical advisor. So we're working in collaboration with several accredited advisors, including but not limited to the E-Man Effect and Victoria Navarro. Just thought I'd give a quick shout to Instagram. If you're unable to mitigate your risk, please contact us immediately so we can refer you to an accredited financial advisor, including but not limited to man like Emmanuel Asuko, I think that's how I say your second name, and or Victoria Navarro. Wow, this is a busy webinar today. So today on the game, we'll be covering 3 altcoins. I will be covering FTM, aka the Phantom blockchain, or not blockchain, because it's actually not on blockchain. Kind of crazy, that, isn't it? Miss Harding will be covering YEARN Finance, which has been kindly requested / pestered by one of our amazing community members called Unice. Yes, she has pestered us, and I don't know too much about it either, so I'm excited to learn about YEARN Finance and Avalanche, mind you. And Keishan Rigg will be covering AVAX. So,
yeah.
Who wants to go first?
I was gonna say I want to go first. I can't lie, because
okay.
My one,
we've not had some quiche content for a while, so let's get it.
Yeah, man, my one's not an easy one. I'm not gonna lie to you guys. AVAX Avalanche is not. It's for the people that are heavy in Web3. If you really want to understand what it is, and I'm gonna start by this, just by saying this: Avalanche is not a single blockchain. Avalanche is run by about 3 blockchains. It has about 3 of them within their systems, and I'm going to get into that. Let me just close off a couple of tabs because I've got 1,000,001 tabs, as I always do. So basically, yeah, I'm going to start by saying that. So AVAX is quite I would say a technical one to explain, but I'm gonna basically break down to you what these 3 proprietary sort of blockchains are and how they operate, and then I'm going to explain to you also sort of what projects are being built on Avalanche at the moment, sort of some things that I've heard about within the space, and then I'm going to show you guys like basically some projects that I think are quite interesting, and then go from there. How's that sound?
Yep.
Okay, so
that was good, homie.
Could you make me co-host, please, Mike?
Yep. Give me a sec.
Sweet. So, just so you guys know, yeah, there is about 1,000,000 tabs open, so just be prepared. Yeah, man. Okay, cool. So you guys can see my screen, right? You can see Michael's face.
Yep.
Oh no, Sente, you spoke. Damn, I was gonna zoom into it. Okay, cool. We made it here. All right, cool. So here is the architecture for Avalanche. I know it looks like really crazy, right? So I'm gonna keep it very simple. I'm not gonna go too in depth. So they have 3 proprietary blockchains. I would compare Avalanche to Polkadot. Avalanche is extremely similar to Polkadot. Reason being is because on Avalanche you can actually create something called subnets, which we'll get into. So it has really a wide range of use case. I'm going to talk a little bit about the tokenomic side of Avalanche as well, and some things that I think are good and not so good. But first of all, let's actually delve into the architecture. So there's 3 proprietary blockchains, which are the main blockchains that creates Avalanche. One essentially is just for Ethereum, so it's EVM smart contracts, which is just basically Ethereum. It allows for Avalanche to plug into Ethereum. The other one, quite simply, is for people to build on. It's for creators to build on. And then there's a third one, which is ideally just created for smart contracts as a whole. So one thing that's really interesting about Avalanche is that you can actually create both proof of work and proof of stake mechanisms. So, for example, if you were to make something called a subnet, you can basically cater it and create it to however you want it to be. So if you need proof of work for exactly what you're building out, you can actually have that. And then if you want to get a little bit more nitty and gritty into it, and then actually build out your own essentially your own blockchain with that subnet, you can then create your own rules and be compliant for the compliance purposes. And you can also create a public blockchain and a private one with Avalanche. So it has really wide capability in terms of use case for corporate businesses and entities as well. But yeah, this is more of the technical side of stuff. So Avalanche as a whole, let's get into a little bit of the tokenomics. So they have around about 720 million tokens, which is very, very small amount. And one thing that's interesting about that is that first of all, that makes it deflationary because it's such a small amount. But because they have a few things where they've given out a lot of tokens early stage to early stage investors. They gave about 20% of that to early stage investors that bought AVAX at 50 cent. And AVAX is currently floating around $13 right now. So as you can imagine, there's a lot of investors that are screaming to pull out their funds and do you know 20x on their investment, etc. But basically they have lockup periods, and they have different distribution periods, which I think are very important to understand as well. And then also with Avalanche, they on the tokenomics side, they have basically, I believe it was 20% of that pool that went into their founding members as well. So quite a large amount of the tokens are sort of internal or given to early investors, which I think will have an effect on the price. And I think from what I've seen with AVAX as a whole, it's definitely had a knock-on effect on the price. But there's a few projects that I definitely have seen within the space during bull markets and bear markets that have been doing quite interesting things. And one of them is Trader Joe, which I'll get into. But I wanted to just brush through a few of these projects here, and also sort of give you understanding of what AVAX is doing at the moment, and how they're positioning themselves. So majority of the projects that I see on Avalanche are either DeFi protocols or are gaming projects. So they're quite big in the gaming space, and I think that as the gaming space grows, there's going to be a lot more Avalanche and sort of Ethereum AVAX based projects. Because what I've seen, especially from looking at sort of the projects that Avalanche have, a lot of them are definitely compatible with Ethereum, or a lot of them are on Ethereum and bridge into AVAX, which basically means that you can use it on Ethereum and also use it on Avalanche as well. So there's that malleability there. But yeah, I think some of the main things that I've seen, which I'd like to highlight, is their launch pads as well. So let's just run through this real quick. So they have Avalanche, which is their launch pads, where obviously they'll be basically getting new projects in and helping them launch. So this is something I think is good to look at for early stage investment into projects that are at literally just coming out IDO stage. IDOs can be extremely risky because it could be exit liquidity for other investors. So you also have to bear in mind that, but it can be extremely lucrative if you know what you're doing. And I would say IDOs are extremely, extremely high risk, and probably one of the most high risk things that you can do in DeFi. But yeah, IDOs are quite interesting because you can get in on projects extremely early. And if you position yourself correctly and do deep enough analysis on projects, then you can understand exactly what landscape they would be at within, or at what point they would be at within the next let's say 5 to 10 years, or let's call it 5 years, because it's an early stage investment. So AVAX, I've seen a lot of launch pads and a lot of basically places where you can early invest into tokens. They have an incentive model that they've also put within AVAX. I think it was like 130 million incentive model that they put in. But essentially that was mainly to get most of the liquidity from Aave and basically Curve Finance as well, to get most of their liquidity pulled into their ecosystem and their blockchain. They've sort of created these incentive models, which is essentially them doing high level business marketing, but also giving to the communities, and essentially also doing business with another corporate entity or like a large entity. So I think that was a smart play from them, and they're doing things in smart and effective ways. But Avalanche as a whole, I think, is definitely created for the developers, and we've seen that a lot with a lot of blockchains. Everything's just made for developers and not necessarily for users. And I think that's one thing that's not clear about Avalanche. Like, a lot of their documentation is extremely devy, extremely data heavy, just literally like reports and reports, like architecture and things of that nature. So I don't think that there's that sort of connection to the user base from that standpoint, because everything AVAX is extremely technical. I guess what I'm saying is that they should simplify a lot of their complexities and niche it more into different things through the subnets that they make. But I mean, we'll see what happens over time and see how their adoption grows. But they've had extremely great growth of last year. They ran up incredibly. So if we go, I was just looking at the ecosystem here with a few projects that are tied into them. One of the largest one is Trader Joe, which is DeFi protocol, but it also has its own launchpad sort of built into it, which was another thing that was quite interesting. But yeah, with Trader Joe, essentially, I saw this actually grow quite a lot, and actually, yeah, I saw a lot of liquidity flowing into this, and yeah, Trader Joe's is a well, has been a good place for staking, a good place for swapping. But yeah, I'd say majority of it has been staking, people going into liquidity pools and stuff like that, and obviously getting their yield. But I think Trader Joe has been one of the main like largest things that AVAX has done in terms of DeFi, and the second one was another one over here. Let me just pull it up. 1 second. Was it Deji's? No, it was let me find it. They had another project that was quite large, which is Benki. There you go, Benki. So let's have a look at Benki. So essentially, Benki's another DeFi protocol where you can stake. One thing that was very funny about Benki is that around about 1 year ago, their TVL was 2.5 billion, and now their TVL is 250 million. So it just goes to show what's going on at the moment in terms of the market and the world as a whole. The world is bleeding, and yeah, such a huge difference with value locked is insane. A lot of like I've from an eagle eye perspective, a lot of blockchains are dying out and in a rough position. They're either sitting on a lot of capital, don't know how to use that, or they're burning through their last bit of capital to make as much activations, as much people building on, as much active wallets as possible. And that's sort of the state of the market currently. So we can see that there's been a huge difference from like a bull run to now, how it had 2.5 billion locked in literally a year ago, and now it's at 250 million locked in. But this was another one of Avalanche's largest projects, which was another DeFi project. But let's go. This one was really interesting, I found, because This is another heavy DeFi project, but one thing that's really interesting about this is that it's perpetual DeFi, which basically means it's like leverage trading with DeFi, essentially. But yeah, I always think that perp DeFi is going to be something that's going to grow tremendously, especially on the corporate edge and corporate side. But that's basically the DeFi side. Let's get more into like the gaming side as well. So, I got the spinning beach ball of death. So there's a few games on Avalanche as well. I haven't seen any that have been huge per se. Even Trader Joe had a few gamified stuff in it. Some things that they do on Avalanche is quite cool. The way that they gamify some things that, like, there's another project that I'll show you guys as well. This is one of the gaming projects. This is literally just like, if you know EV.io, it's very similar. Just like you get your resources, you upgrade your ship, and you fight other ships essentially, and you build your own groups and teams. But yeah, I thought this was quite a cool project that they had going on here. Sorry. Okay. And yeah, so this is a sort of a play to earn game that they have going on here, which is quite interesting. Cool. This is another accelerator, so essentially like another launch pad. Colony Lab. But they have a DAO element, and they also have like a DeFi element in on this as well, which I thought was quite interesting as well. But there's a handful of projects that are actually also basically supported by Ava Labs or either Avalanche's Launchpad as well, which you can see, which is always good to see with some projects. If you're looking for projects, it's great to see that Avalanche is actually fully backing them as well. And then there was it this one? Yeah, there was this RPG type game that I saw as well, which is quite interesting. But this is like an RPG MMO, and it also has DeFi elements as well, which is very revolutionary, I think. But yeah, this was another one that was quite interesting. But I don't know if there's anything playable right now. Yeah, there is actually, you can download. But for a lot of these games, a beautiful trailer doesn't mean anything, man. What really matters is it playable? Can you play it right now? How does it run? And can you earn from playing it right now? Because I think all of the early stage adopters of games like this that are earning either in their native token or earning in AVAX will benefit a lot more than actually investing, because a lot of people will not be actually playing these games. A lot of people will actually be investing in the tokens. So by playing the games, you actually will earn a lot more than investing typically within play to earn. But okay, cool. Let me find this one. Yeah, this is one of my favorite ones. So this one was actually really cool. I'm very big on, oh, how do I get rid of this? Cool. I'm very big on security. Have heavy on security. I mean, we've had a lot of security issues across the board from 2018, especially 2015 sort of times as well. And this is a really cool way of actually utilizing a protocol. And what they've gone and done is completely gamified security, which is really cool. So they have different NFTs, different challenges, etc., and things that you can do. But essentially, it's a security protocol, and it protects you, and actually can help you save and also be protected while you're trading as well. So it basically protects you from basically deploying your capital too much in volatile and vulnerable assets, and it basically helps you and stop getting hacked from smart contract hacks as well. So this is probably one of my favorite projects that I've seen so far. And yeah, that was basically mainly it from Avalanche sides. I think, yeah, one of the biggest ones was definitely Trader Joe, Benki, etc. I think the tokenomic side of AVAX is a little bit shaky. As an early stage investor, there will be the best thing to do is buy it when it's at the bottom, because there will be investors that will be trying to take out some funds within like certain set times. But other than that, I think that Avalanche is a really cool sort of blockchain, or a series of blockchains, and very similar to Polkadot, as they have the subnets and Polkadot has the parachains. But I think that the way that they've built the architecture is very smart, very intelligent, and I think that this is something that more people, as they build on, will definitely grow. But from what I've seen so far, I think that they're mainly stronger in DeFi than gaming. But I think that as the world of gaming progresses and essentially gaming grows a lot more, then we'll see Avalanche growing a lot more with the gaming ecosystem. And I think that they have a lot more to add to that, and will grow in that sector a lot more as well, because I feel like they have a lot of the DeFi stuff covered. But those are the two main use cases that I've seen publicly, and I'm not too sure on the private blockchain side, but I'm sure it's most likely just governments and file storage and things of that nature. But yeah, that's Avalanche in a nutshell, I guess. I tried to keep it not too complicated, but Avalanche is mad complicated. So I hope that's been a good one for you guys.
Yo, stand innovation. Give my guy a round of applause.
Just
Mic's on, people. Mic's on.
Come on. He gave us the alpha. He gave us the.
Appreciate it, guys.
Fire.
Thanks, Fish.
Let me spray, because what I'm going to spray is related to Phantom, and we're going to see why. So, YEARN Finance, who's ready? Put your seatbelts on.
I'm ready. There's a connection. There's a connection. There's actually a specific reason why we did these three cryptos. They're not just random. They're actually tied together.
I said no.
Okay, so let's go. So first thing I'm going to do, it will all make sense, is I want to play you the last 2 minutes of lesson 1 of the Blockchain Sensei course that is going to be available on our website very, very soon. And, well, I'm not going to play it. I'm just going to show you the image. You might be able to hear it. You might not be able to. I don't know if you.
Blockchain is not really going to be able to do much.
Yeah, we can hear it.
You can.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. So let me play this last 2 minutes of it, because this is essential. So when it comes to investing, what you got to do, the way that we keep getting these crazy wins, is we treat crypto exactly the same way you treat stocks. It's based on fundamentals. It's based on what makes logical sense for this company. Remember, a blockchain crypto that you're investing in is a company that you're investing in. So what makes sense for this company to make money, to be profitable, to be attractive to other people?
Like
so we've come up with a formula.
What to look for in a
So
blockchain.
what you're looking for in a blockchain. Here we go.
It's quite similar to the things that you look for in a business. Number one, does it make revenue? Because if it doesn't make any revenue and it's not making any money, it's probably not actually a good business. Next is you're looking for developers, because you can have the best blockchain in the world, but if it doesn't have any developers that are excited to use it or building on it, the blockchain is not really going to be able to do much. Next is the partners, because the more partners that you have and the more higher quality partners like Google, it then increases the chances of more money being able to be made. Then we have VC partners. So we're also looking for what venture capital partners are involved, because then they can help provide the partners. Then we're looking for network growth. You could have all of the things that we talked about before, but if nobody's using it and the growth of the network isn't increasing, it's not that great of a blockchain. Then we want to compare the market cap of the project that we're looking at to Web2.
All right, that's enough. So this will all make sense now. So what we've got to start off with when it comes to YEARN is this guy, Andre Cronje. Now, let me just show how amazing our Google search is. So you just type in, we've got a little bit of a mod on our Google search, as well as pre-search. We type in names and we type in things, and then Merlin pops up and gives us some additional information. Shout out to Merlin. It's not paid that. That was just something that we've done. So Andre Kronje is a well-known figure in the cryptocurrency and blockchain space. He's an experienced developer and entrepreneur with a notable focus on decentralized finance, DeFi. Andre initially gained attention for his work on the popular DeFi platform YEARN Finance. He's known for his crazy, innovative ideas and the ability to push the boundaries of what is possible within the realm of decentralized finance. Andre's contributions to industry have been highly regarded as he has developed various financial products that enable users to earn high yield on cryptocurrency holdings. His work has inspired countless others to explore and contribute to the expansion of DeFi. However, it's noting that Andre is not without his critics. Now, you know, like how Wiley is the godfather of grime? Andre Condre is basically the godfather of DeFi. No Andre Condre?
No DeFi.
No DeFi. Pretty much put it that way. Now, DeFi, is it pretty important and is it pretty powerful? Yes. So let's deep Andre a little bit more. So Andre is the original co-founder of YEARN Finance. Andre, if we go on his LinkedIn, is currently the director at FANTOM Foundation. Andre has also got several other projects that he's been doing a mazza on. They include Eminence, Keeper.
Wait. Can I just
Fusion.
Can I just iterate? Can I just say something? He's not just a director. Because I feel like director is more like a general thing. He's a technical advisor. So specifically on the tech.
He is. There's OGs in the space, in any space, and then there's been the Mozart of music. Like, sorry, I'm eating chips. Sorry, I'll stop. But this guy, different respect needs to be thrown on his name. So that's Andre. Go and connect with him on LinkedIn. He'll probably add you. So let me put his LinkedIn in the chat. And go tell him, or comment on his post, DM him, tell him you found out about him because of Blockchain Sensei. So let's pop that there. Boom. Then what you want to do is go follow him on Twitter. Because if the godfather of DeFi tweets, you probably want to know about it. You probably want to see what he's talking about. So let's go put that there. And why is that interesting? Why is Andre important right now? Because guess who's getting into DeFi now? BlackRock, JP Morgan. Why? Because they're turning bonds into tokenized assets that you can now use DeFi plays with. So is DeFi about to become a $1 trillion industry? Yes. You've heard it here first. I'm happy to put it out there. Someone say that I'm gassing. By 2025, DeFi will revenue $1 trillion. There will be $1 trillion of DeFi transactions by 2025. Said it. It's a big statement, but I've said it. So let's see what happens there. Sure. Anyway, back to Andre. He's also got a Medium where he literally, if you want to do the reading, he's got little articles that he's writing about different things in DeFi. 2-minute reads, 3-minute reads, 5-minute reads, 2-minute reads. Have we all got 1 minute a day to read what the god of DeFi is talking about? Like, are you going to get crazy alpha and learn things about the space and about how the future of money is going to work that you can't get from anywhere else in the world? Yes. Like, I don't think people actually really understand how important this link that I'm about to post in the chat is. This link that I've just posted in the chat is alpha on a different level. This link that I've just posted in the chat puts you ahead of 99.9% of people on the planet. It puts you in the top 1% of people on the planet, because there's probably about 1% of people that even know about DeFi, let alone know who Andre Condre is, let alone follow his readings and follow what he's putting out there. So, you know how people get gassed about finding out about a mixtape before anybody? How about finding out about a DeFi play before anybody? It's probably going to make you a little bit more money than finding a mixtape. But, you know. Okay, so that's Andre. So let's move on from gassing Andre and let's talk a little bit about and understand what exactly YEARN even does. Where's the YEARN website? Okay, so the best way to understand YEARN is imagine Well, first of all, we've got to understand DeFi. What is DeFi? DeFi is putting your money or your assets and making money off them yield from your digital assets by locking them in a place. Now, why would you lock them in a place? There is a thing called liquidity, which is very, very important in all trading. What is liquidity? Let's break this down for the absolute beginners. Let's say, right, I've got a pair of trainers and there is 100 pairs of these trainers, right? And I've got 10 of them, right? And Ninja has got 90 of them, but in a different colorway. If I give 9 of my trainers away, right, there is now only liquidity for 1 trainer because there's just not enough now for Ninja to swap 2 of his blue trainers for 2 of my red trainers. Does that make sense? It's not an equal match. Let's break it down a little bit more. Let's say, for example, the best way of thinking of liquidity is, you know, when you go to the shop and the boss man says, nah, I ain't got no change. You can't use that $5 here. I ain't got the change. He hasn't got the liquidity in his till. He can't give you the change because he hasn't got that money available because he's giving it to someone else. So what does he need to do? He needs to go and get change from somewhere else so that he has the liquidity to give that money out to you. That's the best way of thinking of liquidity. So in DeFi, why is that important? Because what people do in DeFi is you will go, okay, here is 1,000 USDC tokens. That now means if somebody wants to trade Curve or some kind of token for USDC and get out of their position and sell their position, there is now the liquidity to get out of that position for USDC. But if nobody is a liquidity provider, if no one's providing the asset for people to trade out of things, this is how and why people are locked in tokens. This is how and why people get rugged, because they buy into these meme tokens and the meme token says your net worth is now 1.5 million. But guess what? There's no liquidity for that token. There isn't 1.5 million USD tokens in a pool to exchange for the 1.5 million of the meme token. So that's why it's so important. Now, by providing your money to your tokens to a DeFi pool, what ends up happening is for doing that, you get paid on the transactions that happen in that pool. You get what's called a yield for lending your money to allow other people to get out of their positions. Now, what is amazing about YEARN Finance, what it automatically does is you lock up your tokens and it will automatically find the best place to get you the maximum yield. So let's say, for example, there's loads of activity on Curve. It will go, let's put Matthew's 100,000 there because there's loads of activity there. So it's the best place for him to get his yield. Let's say there's loads of activity on Sushi Swap the next day. It's the best place to put it there because there's loads of activity there. Hopefully that makes sense to everybody. I've tried to condense and break that down as best as possible. Let's relate it to the Bossman shop again. Let's say, for example, you had 100 grand, right? And every time that a Bossman ran out of change or used your money that had your name on it and you'd marked with a highlighter pen that it was your notes that it came from, you got paid £1 every time he used the pound, right? But Bossman shop that's got the chicken shop, he's good. He's not really, he's good. He's got a couple of transactions. But Bossman that's got the corner shop, he's bare busy. It's the middle of summer and everyone's coming for the ice lows. Where do you want to put your money? You want to put your money in Bossman shop that's got the ice lows because it's busy, because you're going to make more money. That is basically what YEARN Finance is doing. So how does it do it? It moves it between different protocols. I'm going to give you a quick little breakdown here. And I've got this from, let's just go to, shout out to Masari. So there's a little example here on this. Oh, wait, is my screen even sharing? My screen still sharing?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry, paper, YEARN Finance.
You can see the Masari bit, yeah?
Yeah.
Okay,
Yes.
cool. So imagine this is where all the users are putting in their tokens into YEARN. And what it's doing is it's finding protocols like Compound, like Curve, like Aave, like Convex, and then also finding product layers like Sushi Swap, like Ribbon, like Badger DAO, and just finding the best positions for your money. That's the best way of understanding it. Now, what's the total amount of total value locked right now? Around 1.49 billion. Again, I'm going to repeat that. About 1.49 billion locked. You show me how many companies on the planet have got 1.49 billion locked. You show me. Not many. Not many at all. So, this is a 10-minute read. Again, Blockchain Sensei is all about you doing your own research. So, boom, posted that in the chat for you. Now, let's go on to the next bit. What's interesting about Mr. Andre Cognier, he's obviously got his collabs with Sushi Swap and Pickle and Cream and all the others. YFI is actually built on ERC, so it's built on top of Ethereum. Now, why the price is so high? So what you'll notice when we go into CoinMarketCap, the price of YFI is a bit brazy. It's at one point got really famous because the price actually exceeded the price of Bitcoin. Now, what is the golden rule of blockchain?
Right. Okay.
The golden rule of blockchain is a simple equation, and I do agree. What that was exactly, it did beat the price of Bitcoin. I totally agree. If we just get everyone to mute their mics a second, I think that everyone's done that now. Big love for having children listening to this. So it did exceed the price of Bitcoin at one point, and that is because of the golden formula of crypto, which is what? Let's see if anyone remembers the golden formula of crypto of how you work out price. It's market cap versus what? Type in chat. Let's see if people have been paying attention to the lessons. Market cap divided by what tells you the price. Come on, type in chat. Circulating supply. Exactly. So if there is a limited circulating supply, what's going to happen to the value of the token? It's probably going to go up. Now, the circulating supply of YEARN is 33,000 tokens. That's it. Now, just deep that. Most tokens out here are trying to have 1 billion tokens, or there's 10 billion tokens, or that the stupidness. Whereas YEARN, there is actually only 33,000 tokens in existence. Now, this is where we're going to go a little bit deeper. We're going to get deep into the deepers. Are we ready? Are we ready to get deep into the deepers? We're going to go deep, deep, deep into the block. So, literally. So, let's go into the block. So, what we're going to do, we're going to look at the amount of total addresses that are here, right? And the amount that are in profit. Let's just go to the top of into the block. Shout out to into the block. There is 6.29K addresses actually in profit. That's only 13% of holders are actually in profit from holding YEARN Finance because it's so low in price right now. Over 82% of holders are not in profit. Crazy. Now, the in the money and out of the money price, so the area where most people are actually in profit, is around $6,000, about 6,537. So I'm not saying that's a good buy price. I'm not saying that's a good sell price, but you know. So let's look at this over the last year, the in and out of the money positions. You can see that since June, it's been around 6,928 is a good area. And we can see that there's clearly a massive sell area around 10,000 mark. So is there massive gains to be made on YEARN Finance, in my opinion? Maybe, but I don't fully think so. It's a great concept, but you got to be really, really in this for the long run. So number of large transactions. Does it get a lot of large transactions? Again, when we look at it, when we look at the number of transactions here, there's not many large transactions in comparison to Bitcoin when we actually really think about it. And again, in terms of the total volume, we can see not crazy amounts of movement of this token. Total volume 1.7k YFI tokens were moved in and out between people, which again isn't really that crazy. So bulls and bears, no, we won't go into that one. It's pretty even. Market cap. What is interesting though is at one point the market cap for this got to 2.4 billion, which is pretty brazy considering now it is at 200 million. So that's an easy 10x that this thing is capable of doing. Just saying. And its 52-week high is 381 million, and its all-time high is 2.93 billion market cap. So I don't know. Is DeFi gonna boom? Is this project important to DeFi? Yeah, kind of. Yeah, kind of. So yeah, if you want to deep as this, deep it. But what I found interesting is where it's most correlated to. So it's most correlated to Bitcoin. That's where we've got a 0.7 correlation with the movement of Bitcoin. So potentially, as Bitcoin moves up and people are going to get what? There's like 200, 300% left in Bitcoin, if you're lucky. So that's a 3x. Now, loads of people are going to go diving into Bitcoin thinking, yeah, Bitcoin is going to make loads of money, loads of gains. When in reality, the ALTS is where the gains are now. Most of Bitcoin's gains are already done. If you didn't get in at 12K, 15K, the train's already gone, in my opinion. So that's that. Circulating supply. Now, what's interesting about Andre Cronje, just to wrap up about it, is he actually gave up his position and his position that he had with tokens. He actually abandoned all of his tokens and made the regulatory board, the DAO of YEARN Finance. I think it was 9 holders. I think there's 9 people, and he's not actually one of them. So it's multi-sig and it's held by 9 holders. Walked away from YEARN Finance, which is so yeah.
No, I'm not using it. No.
So yeah, look into that. So that is my bit on YEARN Finance. Is it one of my favorites? No. Is it something to pay attention to? Yes. Is it something you should do your own research on? Yes. There's a great article here. There's loads of great articles about. I think I've shared most of them in the chat. Go do your own research. So next on to Ninja. You don't need to applause me.
Can I ask a question?
Yeah. Fire away.
So people say obviously not to leave your crypto on exchanges. And I know exchanges offer similar yields where you can get a percentage back. So for instance, I'm on Uphold. I have Atom on there and it's earning me 16%. So what is the difference of holding on Uphold compared to, say, Yield Finance?
On Uphold, your assets that you're holding are in one position.
Yeah. That's
it. It's going into one liquidity pool. Whereas what's happening on YEARN is moving across different liquidity pools, making sure that, imagine having like a full-time trader that's trying to find the best liquidity pool positions for you.
Yeah, it's an automatic market maker, essentially.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Sure.
So that's why. Now, me personally, I like DeFi as a concept.
Yeah.
I think there's two things I don't like in DeFi. You have to be, number one, you have to be crazily on it with DeFi. Yeah. And unless you're in a place, I think what happens with DeFi is people get caught up in the big numbers, but then they forget to break that down into what that return works out for the year. So they'll see, oh, it's giving me 100% return, but that's for the year. And you've got to really ask yourself, the assets that you've locked up for a year to get 100%, could you have got more than 100% elsewhere? Now, crazily enough, you could have got 100% on Coinbase stock. You can more or less get 100% on Facebook stock. You can more or less get 100% on Netflix stock, and that's in less than a year. So there's, in my opinion, there's better positions unless you're on that crazy crud DeFi thing that Keish was on at one point, where you're getting these DeFi yields of 5,000% in a year.
I think, let me add to that though. You can actually invest in a passive way in DeFi, but you just have to do extremely long-term staking. But you also have to understand that you don't own your assets that you're staking. So long-term staking in platforms that you don't own assets for, that are new platforms, is extremely risk averse. Very
Crazily
risky.
dangerous.
So yeah.
Bull run helps as well.
Nobody new in crypto should be messing with DeFi, in my opinion. Nobody knew. And also, in my opinion, unless you got 100K to throw away, you shouldn't be playing with DeFi.
Yeah.
In my opinion.
I'm sure Waj has got a comeback for this because I've been watching his DeFi series on YouTube. But go ahead, the OG, what's up?
Yeah, what's up, everyone? So I'm one of the people that uses DeFi pretty much every single day. And YEARN was something that I was using probably about 3 or 4 months ago for quite a long time. I think one of the good things about YEARN is that it basically supercharges your yields from Curve. And YEARN is really, really closely related to Curve. And Curve is the hub of DeFi, pretty much. So one of the best things about YEARN is that you don't need to earn Curve tokens to earn those maximum rewards, which you can get from being an LP on Curve. So one of the things that I was doing was providing liquidity for stablecoins. And there was a point in time where YEARN, not too long ago, this was in 2023, where you were able to earn 30-40% on your stablecoins with no impermanent loss risk. And the only risk you're taking on is really blockchain risk, the risk of Ethereum going down, or smart contract risk, the risk of something happening with YEARN. And I think the YEARN developers are probably one of the best in the game. So for me, the risk was quite low. And yeah, at times you can get really, really good yields. So 30-40% I was earning. I think at the moment, the yields aren't as good as what they were before. So I've rotated out of YEARN. But I think YEARN as a protocol, great. I'm not too keen on the token. And for me, I don't think it's something that I would ever hold. But as a farmer, and I'm a farmer because I do DeFi every single day, I think YEARN is always something that I'm looking at.
Big. Note the key things that he said there. He does it every day. If you are not doing it every day, Waj, can you put out the disclaimer on DeFi, please?
Yeah, I mean, I think it can be quite complicated. And I've been in DeFi from the very start, from 2019, 2020, and I do it every day. I work in DeFi as well, so I think that plays a part. I think for people new to crypto, there's definitely a lot to learn. But once you do learn, DeFi can be a really fun place and a place to earn really good yields.
Definitely. So
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
If you are new, don't go. I would put it this way: unless you've done a DeFi lesson or multiple DeFi lessons and spent at least 4 to 10 hours being educated on DeFi, you shouldn't be putting money in DeFi, in my opinion. Because otherwise you're gonna get hurt differently. Because let me just tell you this: slippage is a that slippage, you don't even want to know about flash loans and vampire attacks.
My boy said slippage is a mother.
Don't even want to know, bro. You're gonna put people are gonna put their 10-20K in there, and boom, gone.
There's ways.
We've seen it happen, mate. We've seen it happen. All right, let's crack on because it is 8:57 p.m. All right, cool. So let's just quickly shout out Waj. Do subscribe to his YouTube channel. It is amazing. I need to spend more time there. And as you can see, this guy pretty much specializes in DeFi because every single video he's done has been about DeFi. So had to give Waj a quick shout out, and I definitely think we need him back. All right, cool. So let's dive into FTM, aka FANTOM. All right, so if you've been following Blockchain Sensei for a while, you'll know that when I present information, I like to, you know how people say the word brain fart? I like to tweet fart. So wow. Here are some data sets with regards to FTM. I'm going to be completely transparent. I hold a cognitive bias to FTM because our CTO, aka my father, a blockchain sensei, that's public knowledge. If you go to our team page, is a developer for Phantom, and since working for Phantom since I think like early 2022. My father, who's been in software since 1986, in his own opinion, Phantom technology is pretty superior. So anyway, let's get it. So I won't go too much into Andre because I believe Ms. Harding has sufficiently covered him. But again, he's the founder of YEARN Finance, and now he's a co-founder and technical architect at Phantom Foundation. So I watched quite a long interview that is only a few months old, with a company called Defiant News and Andre, and I kindly provided a link here if you guys want to watch this interview. I'm big on one-on-one interviews with founders. So 35 minutes in, Andre himself quotes high throughput blockchains, which there are high throughput blockchain. So basically by this he means blockchains that can process a lot of transactions per second. At present, according to him, there's only two, which are Phantom and Avalanche, which are not even close to capacity. So Phantom is one of the kind of more OG cryptos that survived the big scam of 2017 and 2018 ICO boom. They raised 40 million in 2018, and the mainnet did go live in 2019. Just some little bit of inside information. I do believe Phantom are very cash heavy, because I know from just personal relationships with my father and other developers in Phantom, and they get paid quite well. So they're definitely not run out of money, in my experience. So FTM can process up to 20,000 transactions per second. More complicated transactions are limited to a few hundred per second. So they call it. Now, I am not the most technical person in the world, but technically speaking, Phantom doesn't use a blockchain.
Wait. Just to give context to people that are brand new, just give a bit of context to how many transactions per second happen on the blockchains.
How much transactions per second happen on blockchains in general, or Ethereum, or what do you want to compare it to?
Just anything else. I'll get the stats on Ethereum if you get it on Bitcoin.
All right, cool.
Oh, it's appalling, and the time it's appalling, and the time to finality is appalling compared to.
Yeah, so Ethereum is around 30 transactions per second, which is whack.
Bitcoin is around about 7 to 10. Yeah, there you go.
It's not. I mean, that's all it can. That's all it can process. It doesn't mean there is 7 to 10. I'd be surprised if there was 10 transactions.
And
I'm 100% confident there is not 10 transactions on Bitcoin every single second on average.
Ripple's 1,500.
And Ripple's 1,500, and look how gassed everyone is about that.
Yeah, and then I believe Avalanche is 4,500. I believe that's AVAX.
Yeah. And what did you say Phantom was?
20,000.
There you go.
Solana's pretty fast as well, isn't it?
Yeah, I think that's like a couple of thousand. Let me find out. I'll put it in chat.
Cheers.
Also, just to go back to Andre for a second, one thing that he says in this interview is he basically admits that the majority of this is what I like. I like straight talking people. Andre is that straight talking person. Anyone who knows me and you watch his content, you can see why I relate to him. He basically said, yeah, the majority of DeFi at present is a scam. So, however, he wants to work against the grain of that and work with the 1 to 3% of blockchains and crypto Web3 companies that are not there to scam. Phantom have a pretty large doxed team, including but not limited to Andre, and also CEO. Yeah, let's carry on. So basically, Technically, Phantom doesn't use a blockchain. I don't want to go too much into this because I'm not qualified to go into this, but it uses something, and I've used a lot of ChatGPT to define this later on in the tweet string, but it uses something called DAG, which is an acronym for Directed Acyclic Graph, which is secured by proof of stake. However, Phantom does leverage something called the Ethereum virtual machine for more complicated transactions, of which it can't do 20,000 per second and is limited to a few hundred. Okay, so to be an FTM node, you need a minimum of 500,000 FTM. This is as of 24th of May 2023. So I'm assuming since this was published on the official website, 3 months later, it is still as it still remains as is. With the current price of around 25 cents per Phantom, it costs around $125,000 at present to become a Phantom node. At all-time highs, it was 1.5 million at $3 per Phantom. Now, Phantom have a zero tolerance for any dishonest work. So if you are a node that even attempts to do anything dishonest, you don't get slashed 10%, 9%. You get 100% of your Phantom taken off you for being dishonest. So that is a deterrent to be a dishonest node. I don't know many people, even at this market bottom, that have $125,000. I don't know anybody. I don't think it's possible for anybody in this world to be tapped in enough into cryptocurrency and Web3, know about the Phantom blockchain, be interested enough to become a node, knowing that if you get caught with any dishonesty, you will lose $125,000. Regardless of how much Phantom that you stake, there is a 7-day unlock period. So Phantom governance, they use a 1 FTM token for one vote system, and 100 FTM must be burned at the table to vote, which takes away from the current supply. As of March 2022, there were 2.5 million unique addresses, according to FTM Scam. Sorry, not Scam, FTM Scan. However, now it's scaled up to about 90 million, which is a crazy growth. So from 2.5 million to 92 million unique Phantom wallets, according to FTM Scan, which is, if you go to the unique addresses here, you can see they've had exponential growth. Mind you, the FTM bottom was, I think it was November 2022. Let's just check. Oh, sorry, my bad. It wasn't. Oh, wait, was it? Yes. In line with a lot of the crypto market was November 2022. Despite the November 2022 price action bottom of Phantom, since the token bottomed out, it has seen exponential growth from around 5 million unique wallets all the way to 92 million since the FTM bottom price. Funny that. Where have all these users come from, despite the token absolute bottoming out? They say that Phantom is an extremely energy efficient blockchain, even though technically it is not a blockchain, but the word is still used. As of March 2022, the estimated yearly power consumption of the entire FTM blockchain, all nodes, they had about 60 nodes in March 2022, according to Coin Bureau, uses 8,200 kilowatts, which is less than single use of an American home. That's the entire blockchain.
Mad.
Crazy. So FTM's original focus was smart cities when it first ICO'd in 2018 times. FTM was listed on Binance US. Now, mind you, most of our user base is most of the blockchain sensei viewer base is not US based. FTM was listed on Binance US, which is more limited than other Binance exchanges, in December 2021. The top of the crypto bull market was November 2021. So FTM's first US listing was on Binance US. Okay, so here I'll be honest, this is just I'm more copy and pasted through ChatGPT. I'm not a super technical person, but let's just go over what ChatGPT said. The traditional blockchain operates by grouping transactions into blocks. So it's the blockchain because it's a block, and then there's a chain, and then there's more block of information, and this block of information has everything the previous block had and more, and then the chain, and then this block of information has everything this had and more. And that's basically how the blockchain works in absolute layman's terms, which are linked together in linear chronological chain. However, this approach can lead to congestion and scalability challenges. We know this because of Ethereum, especially during periods of high network activity. Again, we know this because of Ethereum. Phantom DAG-based architecture allows transactions to be processed in a more parallel and efficient manner, enabling the platform to achieve higher throughputs, aka transactions per second, 20,000 per second, mind you, faster transaction finality. Here's how Phantom's DAG works and why it's advantageous. Directs, I believe it's acyclic graph DAG. In Phantom's DAG computed on the network, process transactions simultaneously. So not this block, and then it's got to finish, and then this block, and then it's got to finish, and then this block. And share the findings with random sets of neighboring nodes for validation. Neighboring nodes, which if it is found out through automation and other nodes, checking consensus mechanisms, etc., any dishonest validator will get what? Slashed 100%, not 10%. There's not some kind of fee or penalty. The node in
You know what this sounds like?
500,000.
It sounds.
Sorry, say again.
Do you remember there was a certain blockchain? Let's see who's been paying attention. There was a certain blockchain we mentioned that had multi-node architecture.
Node architecture. There is a specific blockchain which we covered on Blockchain Sensei Twitter, which I covered, mind you, in 52 tweet strings. Write down, if you know, most wallets are bots, sadly. I don't doubt that, Waj. I don't doubt that. But what other blockchain uses multi-node architecture? Put it in the comments if you know. If you don't know, we'll tell you.
Whoever gets this right will get a free half-an-hour lesson.
By Mr. Harding, because he said it. Which often rely.
Yeah.
We are so busy, dude. I don't
Man
even
tried to catch me man tried to book in my calendar. Nah, bro.
And them lessons are £150 an hour. So yo, that's
£75 for your lesson. Okay, so abbreviated as ABFT, the asynchronous Byzantine fault tolerance consensus mechanism. To reach consensus on the validity of transactions, Phantom employs its own consensus mechanism called lattices, which is based on an asynchronous version of the Byzantine BFT model. The BFT refers to a system's ability to continue functioning even if some nodes are acting maliciously, and obviously malicious nodes will be slashed. Okay, so even in the presence of... Sorry, go on.
One thing I must add, that model is before the Bitcoin proof of work model, by the way. That's like the OG consensus model. Yeah.
What, as in it was created before 2008? No way.
Yeah, so that Bison network model was
Byzantine general model. So the way that it works is basically an idea that it's an old army fallacy whereby if you've got an army of generals, let's say me, you, and Keish are generals, it basically means if we've got a message that we've got to pass on to Matthew Mint, if the message only works when all three of us come together, and if one of us tries to change the message, the one that changes the message gets murdered, basically.
Wow.
Pretty much it. That's the best way of summarizing it.
I appreciate the history lesson. Thank you. So, historical day. On Monday, the 24th of January, 2022, transactions on Phantom exceeded those of Ethereum.
Mad.
So over one... No one talks about this. However, it's important because I believe this was the whales testing to see, because everyone's talking about Ethereum killer, right? Mm-hmm. But forgive me if I'm wrong. If I'm wrong, I'm wrong. I don't know a day that all these Ethereum killers, Solana, actually exceeded Ethereum on a day in terms of transactions. I reckon this was a test. On this day, 1.2 million transactions were done on Phantom, and Ethereum did 1.1 million on that day. Mind you, January 2022 was.
If you're a whale, and you're moving hella amounts of volume in comparison to what you do with Forex, what are you going to want? Are you going to want, let's go to the spreadsheet, 10, 7, 100 transactions per second? Or are you going to need 20,000 transactions per second? You're going to need it, especially if the majority of Forex is run by bots, especially if the majority of the stock market is run by bots. I think you might need a platform that can do crazy amounts of transactions per second. So as an institutional whale, let's put our institutional whale head on. Is this more attractive than Ethereum? I'm going to say yeah.
Sounds it. And the article was published none other than our friends at Yahoo Finance. So not Barry Bob Crypto, Yahoo Finance. Okay, so what do we always talk about at Blockchain Sensei? We always talk about real world use case. Well, let's just go to the Phantom blog. And let's go to the government and enterprise partnerships. So, including but not limited to the Pakistan Private Educational Institutions Regulatory Authority. Phantom will upgrade the Pakistani Educational Institutional Regulatory Authority legacy systems with a blockchain-powered solution, enabling database audits, real-time monitoring changes of the system, and authentication certificates of accreditation. So, nothing to do with finance. Well, I mean, arguably, they say education is one of the biggest scams in the world. But anyway, technology used for education. Bam. Pakistan Punjab Prisons Department. Phantom will integrate blockchain-based ERP tools into the department's operations to showcase the effectiveness of Phantom's enterprise platform. Phantom will deploy data flow tools, immutable databases. What does the word immutable mean? It means you cannot change it. And operational commands to drive effective data-driven decisions. Data-driven decisions. Very important. Ministry of Industry Technologies of Tajikistan. The Ministry of Industry of New Technologies of the Republic of Tajikistan has partnered with the Phantom Foundation to use Phantom's blockchain-based IT solutions to power its e-government infrastructure. Phantom and the ministry will also jointly establish a research and development hub with the aim of both training local developers and encouraging the adoption of Phantom's blockchain-based solutions. Royal Star Pharma is one of the biggest pharmaceutical distributors in Afghanistan and one of the key players in solving counterfeit drug problems with the region of Phantom.
Damn.
Anyway, let's not get into everything. Real world use case. Real world use case. Okay, so now let's talk about price action because we all want to make that money. So, DeFi Llama is
TA on everything that we spoke about today.
So, DeFi Llama is a great place to look at TVL because most people, when you're a noob, you go to CoinMarketCap and then you pay attention to the market cap, which I mean, it's not just noobs; it's what everyone should. It's an easy go-to.
Best practice.
But what people don't, very few people pay attention to is TVL, and once you become a more seasoned a cryptocurrency investor, one thing you should start looking at is the TVL to public market cap ratio. The total value locked to the market cap ratio, right? So right now, there is only $66 million locked up in the Phantom ecosystem. And the Phantom market cap right now is $750 million, approximately 750 million. So that's kind of like a I guess you could say 1 to 11 ratio. Mental note. But it was 5.2 billion in October 2021.
Wow.
Notice that, remember, the crypto market peaked in November 2021. However, Wales continued to lock up Phantom all the way till the 9th of, let's just say early March 2022, of which the peak total value locked was not too far off 8 billion. Not too far off 8 billion, like 7.5 billion. Right now, in July 2023, right now, the market cap of Phantom is 0.7 billion. Sorry, 0.75 billion. The peak total value locked of Phantom was nearly 10x of the current market cap. The peak market cap of Phantom was $8 billion in November 2021. So as you can see, this is not the best tier, obviously, because we're using a line graph, but fuck it, we'll do it this one time. Crypto market ran up till May 2021 times, took the drawdown, and then peaked in November 2021. It didn't quite follow the exact market structure, because the peak of Phantom was actually May 2021, not November 2021. But it's all good. In my opinion, I think that because the punchline is price action, should be best, should be not. Mr. Hardy's going to do the technical analysis on all three cryptocurrencies. I think fundamentally, if we look at Phantom, let me just wrap it up. Let me just wrap it up right here. We have the Wiley, the godfather of DeFi, Andre, who is the founder of YEARN Finance and now a technical director, not just a director, but technical director of Phantom. Hugely outspoken, basically slating the entire DeFi industry and saying, look, this is my face. I'm putting my face into the world of DeFi that is mainly a scam. This is a cryptocurrency that has lasted the test of time in terms of the ICO boom, having raised 40 million plus in ICOs. I have some inside information that they're very cash heavy because they pay their developers well. It costs at current market price $125,000 to become a validator, 1.5 million at the peak, mind you. You get all your FTM taken off you the second it is found out that you are a dishonest node. They've exceeded Ethereum in daily transaction volumes 3 months after the peak of the bull market. Was it a test? Was it not? They use multi-node architecture, which, bomb drop, is very similar to Flow blockchain. They have a lot of real-world use cases with government partnerships in Pakistan, in the prison and education system. They've got a total value, they've had a total value locked of nearly $8 billion, matching their public market cap. I think it's pretty good. Not an expert, but I would go as far to say it's an undervalued asset at current market price, in my non-financial advice opinion.
So let's just go to
Phantom.
something that I found really interesting about Phantom. How many charts in crypto do you see that look like this?
Oh, sorry, we've got Waj with his hand up, and I feel like Waj has got something important to say.
Yeah, I think you did a really good explanation of kind of what Phantom is. I think there are just a few things that I think I need to add on just because of recent events. If you actually have a look on DeFi Llama, and you just showed this a second ago, that TVL is down to only 60 or 70 million. If you actually have a look at some of the apps down below, though, you'll see that the 7-day and the 1 month change is horrible. It's like 40 or 50% down. And that's because there was a really bad exploit last week with multi-chain, one of the bridges that supports Phantom quite significantly. And because of that, Phantom DeFi is completely gone to zero. Most assets on Phantom have completely depegged, including stablecoins. So if you had any assets on Phantom, get out ASAP. Unfortunately, I think you're probably going to get 10 cents on the dollar at the moment. I think that also affected Phantom's treasury quite a lot because they had a lot of assets in there, including things like stable coins, which aren't worth anything anymore. So I'm a bit concerned about kind of where Phantom are going, in the near future. Yes, Phantom might have more transactions per second than Ethereum, but that's always going to be the case because Ethereum gas fees are so expensive, and rather we should be comparing layer 2s to that of Phantom. Phantom DeFi is worth nothing anymore, and I think NFTs and all other stuff are pretty much non-existent. One of the I was someone who really enjoyed the Phantom ecosystem when it was at that 8 bill TVL. One of the things that happened right towards the end, if you actually have a look, that TVL dropped off massively. Essentially, what happened was Andre was promoting this project that he was working on called Solidly. And essentially, he just ran away and basically disappeared from Twitter for like 3 months. And that was quite concerning. So, although Andre is a great developer and I think he does some good stuff, I am a bit concerned kind of about Andre's leadership. And it's not someone that it's not somewhere I would be happy putting my bags for the long term. I think at the moment, everything related to Phantom is on fire because of the multi-chain issue. So I don't know if they're going to recover, but it's just something that I'm a bit worried about. And I don't think there's any innovation on the application side for Phantom at the moment. So let's see what happens. But I think they need a lot of work to get back. And I'll be honest, I would put my entire net worth in saying that Phantom won't get back to that TVL high in the next cycle.
I think it won't get back to TVL high, but I personally think this is why we love Blockchain Sensei. We love different opinions because we want to give you a range of opinions, because the biggest problem you can have as an investor is a cognitive bias. So, perfect example, I used to shit on Solana. I used to shit on, who else did I used to hate? I used to hate XRP. But
yeah, I was about to say that.
Yeah.
I got bought round, and now I'm like, okay, guys, you're right. Solana and XRP, they've actually got a bit of weight to them. And just on something I want to show everybody here on the TA, just real basic TA of Phantom.
So sorry, can I just address that? Yeah. So with regards, 100%, it is extremely bearish news in terms of what happened recently to Phantom and the kind of exploit. But what I loved is how, as a business, they addressed it straight away. Like they did an AMA, they did a tweet string, and exploits happen. Like this is the thing. Like, obviously, this is an extremely speculative space, and I think that, like, obviously it's not good. It's not good that the assets crashed, but I still feel like this is an opportunity for them to bounce back. Just and again, I did a disclaimer at the start. Say it again. I do have a cognitive bias to Phantom because my father's a developer for them.
Here's my take on what I wanted to say here, which ties in with what you're saying, Ninja, is that unfortunately, no one on this channel, no one here, and probably not anyone we're going to get on the game for a long time, our opinions make this token move. Like at the end of the day, like, who makes it move is the whales. And you can have exploits, you can have whatever, but if you look at the greatest companies in the world, they don't even have exploits. They have straight, blatant manipulations and sabotages. Facebook done an absolute madness with the Cambridge Analytica scandal. Apple doing absolute madness with, like, shorting the battery life on people's phones. Like, that is far worse than a breach. But if you are essential to Wales' master plan, it doesn't matter about the scandal. It doesn't matter about, like, whatever happens. It's just going to run. It's just going to do what it needs to do. And that's where I would say, I personally think Phantom is positioned in a larger plan. I don't think it's the exploits are happening, but I think there's something far bigger going on with this behind the scenes than retail and than us. And if you look at the pieces and you piece them together, especially with the way that the World Economic Forum and all those players work, is they test things with smaller countries first. and then they move them to the main countries. And their intention isn't for the mass public to own it. Their intention is for them to own it. So the price being down is fantastic. They can just own more. And I just want to highlight something here that history often repeats itself because bots often repeat themselves. So let's just, oh, why is it not letting me? I just want to show you some, and I want to fly through these because we are mad overrunning. Sorry, Ninja, that's why I had to cut you a little bit because we're crazily
No,
over.
of course. I've actually got a meeting with Shuriken Sounds in like 2 minutes, so I got to bounce.
So bam. Let's look at this one. Let's look at this one here. If it drops here, these two support lines here. Look at this one, crystal clear. Look at this one here, crystal clear. Do they look somewhat similar? Slightly. Let's look at the drop down that they had from here. 85. Let's look at the drop down from here. Way lower, 95. Now, again, this could just be me having a cognitive bias and seeing what I want to see. But the way that this touched the 4.63 fib on this, for me, was, boy. So obviously it peaked out just a little bit here on this one here. So if this bot was to repeat itself and do this exact same move again from here, then we would get something like on this next wave, we get something like this, up to $15. So it's out there, it's recorded. $15.64 is what I'm calling on Phantom. How long it'll take to get there, I don't know. But if the bot is doing the same thing it's done before, that's where it's gonna go. Because they don't, the bots don't care about our emotions. Like the bots just do what they've got to do. And then the same thing here. And most of these bots are trained on a Wyckoff. And if you're familiar with Wyckoff patterns, they've got a very similar pattern that always repeats itself. Once you know how to see it, you'll know how to see it. Let me just change this one to green. And this is YFI. Do I think that there's a potential for YFI to bounce back, especially with the bull run that we're going to get potentially? Yeah. So all we're looking for here on this is a nice little perfect breakout. What I would expect for a bit of a Wyckoff play is for the price of YFI. Let me just show you what we'd expect to dip below here and then fly up. Where I'd expect it to fly up, not too sure where it would fly up. But then if we add a little bit of magic and we look, is it time for it to go anytime soon? On here, not quite. It's just beautifully getting supported by this 10 though. So there is something building and something going on. So this spike might happen earlier than later. Let's just go check that on Phantom. And please bear in mind, the chart in the time frame that I'm using isn't the daily. This is the weekly, guys. Please keep that in mind, because that means that everything we're looking at on a foot is completely different ball game when you're getting support lines like this on the weekly. And again, you can see, okay, so Phantom is looking like it's going to go a little bit further down. So I'd expect Phantom to get to this area here, this 0.1590, probably peak a little bit below it, and that'll be your Wyckoff spring. And then from that Wyckoff spring, that's where it would explode up. Then AVAX, we want to look at that. Okay, so AVAX on the weekly is an interesting one. This has just been getting absolutely battered when you look at it on the weekly time frame. Why I'm slightly bullish on this, because if you do your research on AVAX, Amazon and Jeff Bezos are heavily infatuated with this. Heavily. Have Amazon got a reason to want to move all of their logistics to a blockchain at some point? Yes. Have Amazon got an interest in wanting to be interoperable and having smart contracts? Yes. Are Amazon interested in doing NFTs? Yes. Is Amazon one of the world's biggest marketplaces? Yes. Would that drive crazy volume to this platform and make it attractive for other investors? Yes. Now, what's interesting about this one is it's just crossed the 10. So again, watch out for what could happen here. The low here would be, again, you've got this incredible support here. Again, this support isn't on the daily. This support is on the weekly. That is not a mistake. So if it's going to come down, I'm expecting it to come down to 8.63. Then from 8.63, that will be your Wyckoff spring. And then from there would go up. How far would go up? I don't know. But that's what I'm expecting. The same thing with LuxRare on the weekly. It's getting battered. But then when we look at it on the daily, on LuxRare, we've got a crossover on the 10. We've had multiple super low dips on the RSI. So I would say that this here was the Wyckoff spring. So from here now is the bullish trajectory. I would expect, well, I called it last time within 1 day of accuracy that XRP was going to pop. I'm going to call LuxRare to pop or start moving within 3 days. But do your analysis, have your own look. That's not investment advice. It's just me saying what I think could happen on that one. And then one of my all-time favorites, one of the most undervalued and misunderstood assets in the entire crypto space, Theta. Like, this thing is so undervalued and so misunderstood. It's crazy. Previous all-time high of $15. Right now is at $0.76. Let's look at this on the weekly. Again, when you look at how low this RSI got on this, this price here on Theta, I don't think is ever going to happen again. Do we have a bit more of a nicer Wyckoff here? Yes, here I would say that this is the spring, but don't quote me on it. Let's see what happens. I'm personally going to start going a bit crazy on this once we get to this area here. Once we get to the 0.959 area. Obviously, it would have been great to catch it here at 0.5 because then, and you can see my exit levels, I've already marked them off, but ultimate exit level I've marked off is $40. If that happens, $40 after 5 years, by the way, not in this one bull run. That'd be 5 years of holding Phantom, of holding Theta. So 1 year, I'm expecting around here. 2 years, I'm expecting around 2 to 5 years. I'm expecting around $40. So if you're in it for the long run, and if you've done your research on what Theta is, if not, go and look back at previous episodes where we've explained what it is. Thank you for those that have stayed to the end. Big love, big love, big love. I will take 4 questions before we shoot. Does anybody have any questions before we get off?
I just wanted to know the other multi-node chain.
Flow.
Yeah, it was Flow. I did it in chat.
Yeah, did you?
Yeah, I did.
Wait. Let me see if you. Nah, Ninja said it, so I don't know if you put it.
No, he didn't. Did he?
He did. I don't know if you put it in the chat before he said it. But being as you're the only person that put it in the chat, and I have to honor what I've said because it's
no, it's all right. It's all good.
You get a free half-an-hour lesson whenever you want it. So you've got my calendar link, Matthew. Book it in. Let's chop it up. It'd be good to catch up with you anyway. So
I think I got lessons with you still anyway.
Yeah, I'm sure you probably do. So yeah, let's
yeah, that's not good, bro.
Definitely. Anybody else? Oh, Mr. Max has joined us. What's good, Moses? That is Moses.
Yeah, it's me, man. How you doing, Michael?
What's goody, broski? Long time.
Long time, my bro. I just wanted to know, has anyone here looked into Luxo? I've been a long time sort of follower of Luxo.
Of Looks Rare.
Say that again?
Looks Rare, the one that I just brought up.
No, it's a different one. It's the ticker is LYXE.
LYXE.
Yeah, so they've recently released their mainnet. They're going through the migration phase, you know, when they're swapping their tokens for like on their blockchain. But yeah, it's to me, it's always been an interesting one to look at because they started in Europe. They've gone by the books, you know, because I believe the European Union is quite heavy on crypto companies. You know, they come down quite heavy on them when it comes to regulation. They've done everything by the book. And to me, they are looking like a dark horse. So I was just wondering if anyone's looked into it, done any research, heard about it. Yeah.
Never in my life. But now you've got me intrigued because I'm looking at this TA on the weekly and this thing is peng, bro.
I would love to know what you think about it in terms of the TA as well. That would be sick.
Yeah, look at this, bro. On the weekly.
Yeah, look at that.
Again, first golden rule I would tell to people, do not do your TA on crypto on the daily. Do it on weekly and you spot things that nobody else is seeing. Like, look at this here. Look how low the RSI was on this, 28, right? If you was accumulating here when the RSI was at 28 and it hit that level, boom, 400%.
I should have asked you about this sooner.
But people ain't going to clock that. And then again, it did a retest of this level twice. So it was basically saying, I'm good. And then this crossover here, this point here, was your ultimate safe buy point, in my opinion. Obviously, it all comes with risk. And then there's a secret little other support that was in there. Boom, just here, look, bam, 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 bam. And again, to get supports like that on a weekly time frame, that's crazy, bro.
Wild.
Like, you got to think how the way that I think of getting a touch on a support line accurately on the weekly is like, this is for my football dummies. This is like Zidane handling a pass from Guti in the air, or from David Beckham, or from, if you know about Berbatov. When the ball comes in from crazy, crazy high, it's hard to catch it exactly on the dot. That is hard to do unless you've got an intention and unless it's been planned. Now, to catch an asset like this, one touch here, kick it high up in the air and catch it exactly again, and then kick it up again, and then just bam, 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 2 touches, like keepy uppies. That's pretty impressive on the weekly. Does that make sense? That way of looking at it?
Yeah, it does. It does. Yeah.
Because like getting a touch like that, that's mad skill still. So you got to kind of go, okay. I see that touch. You know when you see a baller and they just got them that silky touch. And you're just like, that control was mad. That's the exact way that I see it when I look at these charts on the weekly. You just got to be like, But now what you're looking for is you're looking for them to getting ready into a position to strike. Same way that some players like Van Persie, where they'll have no wind up, they'll just bam. Whereas some players give you a little bit of a wind up and show you that they're getting ready. And they drop their shoulder. And this is exactly what this slope is. Dropping the shoulder and then bam.
Right. So, all right. So going forward from here, what would your sort of TA analysis be? Where we are now, based on what you're looking at, what are you expecting it to do, sort of? Yeah.
From here, let's have a look. See.
Or wherever, you know, but going forward, what are you expecting it to do? You said it looks bullish. So
Yeah, I'm gonna just pull this in for you now. $24 is peak.
Right. Okay.
That's on the. I think he's gonna have some trouble at 24.
Right.
Past that, if it breaks 24, God knows where this thing's going.
Wow.
Yeah. If it breaks 24, this could be pretty brazy.
Yeah.
But I'm gonna call 24 on this.
The RSI's broken trend as well, though.
Yeah. And it's got a nice little support there though. Look.
Yeah. Oh yeah,
But-
yeah. Supporting.
So again, look at those two. Look at this control and this skill of this player. Like this player has got the maddest touch, bro. Like it's done these mad touches on here, and then it's just controlling the RSI like that in the middle of the pitch.
Yeah. Man.
That's a bit like
Okay.
okay. What's going on here? Who's this little Ronaldinho?
Yeah, so these guys, I mean, it's an EVM based blockchain. They're focused on creating what they call universal profiles. So these are smart contract wallets.
Okay.
Where you can handle your ERC. Well, they're not even going to be called ERC20 tokens on their blockchain, but just imagine it on Ethereum. You can handle your NFTs in there. You can handle your tokens in there. It's all smart contract based as well. There's some sort of like multi-sig where there's seed phrase recovery, and they're building it into the base of the blockchain. So, and like I said, they're EU regulated. They've done everything by the book.
Here's one of my rules about this game. If developers are excited about something, it's gonna move.
Right. Yeah. Okay.
Because at the end of the day, who makes the world that we live in? Developers.
Yes, the builders.
That's like 500 years ago, seeing that bricklayers are getting excited about a new type of brick and a new type of cement.
Right.
You're gonna be like, okay, something's gonna happen here. They're gonna start building this way, this new architectural style. So if there's enough, like I said I don't know if you saw it, one of the videos that we played is one of the key things to look for in blockchain technology is developer excitement and developer community. If the UI UX is amazing for developers, and if developers love it, things are gonna get built. And in the world that we live in now, developers aren't broke. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like all of Goldman Sachs, 90% of it are developers.
Right.
Like, the world isn't what it was before. Finance isn't what it was before, where it was guys that are good at maths. Finance is now computer science people. And if it's not moving now, in the next couple of years, yeah. So yeah, that's my take on that one. So yeah, have I heard anything from AVAX devs? Yeah, that's where I was mentioning the little.
Appreciate that, Michael.
No worries. Okay, so last one, and I'm bouncing. Gideon, we haven't seen you here before, and Dokoi, you can ask questions if you want because you're new. We've got a rule, we let newbies ask questions.
No, sorry, the Doku, that's myself. It's Duben.
Oh, see, bro, you're a regular, bro. You don't get asked a question.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, so just like yeah.
Nah, if you got a question because you're a regular, you can ask.
Can I ask you?
Yeah.
Do you know Maestro talked about turning Banji? Oh God, was it Banji bananas into ape? Right?
Yeah.
Exchanging on what platform? Because I've got quite a lot of the
So the way that works is it doesn't happen all the time. You've got to have kind of like special NFT to be able to change them out, and they only drop them every now and again. So the best thing I would say if you want to do that is follow ApeCoin on Twitter and follow Benji Bananas on Twitter and turn on your notifications. So
I've
that
got all that.
Yeah, and then just wait and look for when they do it, because it's not all the time.
Right.
It's like every now and again that they do it. However, from further research that we've done on ApeCoin, I think they've got other coins coming.
Yeah.
They've got other coins coming, and I think what will happen is those other coins will go to people that were holding ApeCoin or people that were holding NFTs from their ecosystem. So I'm going to put it out there. This token is possibly the most misunderstood token in the entire ecosystem. If you watched our previous NFT Fridays, you will know that the guys that are behind Ape Token are a British company that have been working on metaverse projects since 2010. The guys behind Yuga Labs are ex-Activision and ex-Epic Games. Call of Duty, Fortnite. Do these guys miss? No. They've had investment in their first year from A16 and then got 200 million from SoftBank in a 2-year window before the bull run. This coin, ApeCoin, is not a These guys, whether people like it or not, this thing is going to be popular.
Absolutely.
People have no choice. They've got too much power in too many places. And it's like I said about institutions like Apple. If they want to make something work and they want to make something popular, it's going to be popular whether you like it or not. It's like certain musicians, I'm not going to mention them, but there's certain musicians out there where we all know and we all agree their music's actually dead, but they are everywhere. The same with certain actors. They're dead. They're rubbish, but they're out there. Same with certain computer games. They're actually whack, but they're the most talked about thing and a downloaded thing on the planet. And then everyone wakes up and realizes, oh, that was actually rubbish. But I don't think what these guys are building is going to be rubbish. I think, you see me mark it off here, $28. That's where I think it's going to go back to, in my opinion.
Absolutely.
When? I don't know, but I think it will. So yeah, that is a wrap. Before I give out any more non-financial advice, yeah, I hope you've enjoyed today's episode of the game. One of our finest ones. Yeah, God bless everybody. Hope everyone is well. Stay safe. See you in a bit. Bye.
Bye.